is confidence for every Christian, clear thinking for every challenge, and courage and grace for every encounter.
I wish my life and death to be a testimony of the intrinsic value of all human beings, which God has given us by virtue of our creation in His image, and of my absolute faith and trust in my salvation through my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I have absolute confidence that I will be with God in heaven upon my death and anticipate that time joyfully. Therefore, my life should not be artificially prolonged. However, neither is my life to be artificially shortened based on a functional or instrumental view of life.
I remember when Stand to Reason was just starting. It was Greg and Melinda, and Greg was so ready for this. And Melinda was right there to be able to be the counterpart of Greg. And for 25 years, that was her life, to make sure that people were going to be equipped so that they could stand up for what they believed. I was grateful that I was told what to expect. And when I got there, I still couldn't believe that here's my friend. And yet, going into that hospital, into that room, she had the greatest care possible.
It was a tough moment. So, stepped into her room, which is just in neuro ICU. It's just a one-patient room. And my world changed in that moment. She was so still. And my sister is just so alive and animated and has such a fierce intelligence, and her mind is always working. And in that bed, she was so still.
It was so hard for me to imagine Melinda being taken out of play. Melinda, who started Stand to Reason with me. Melinda, who was the central nervous system of the organization, the executive director, who ran the team, who kept me in line, who guided the whole process. Melinda? And not only no longer in play with Stand to Reason, but in a situation in her life where she might not be able to live the kind of normal, productive life that she had been living. This was borderline incomprehensible to me.
My life wouldn't be my life without her, but I knew if there's anybody that values her as much as I do, it is the STR family. I knew that whatever backup I needed, they would be there for sure. And they were. I also knew with Greg's wisdom that if I needed any kind of help with decision making, that I could for sure trust in his guidance and his reasoning.
Melinda's conviction was very clear, and we had talked about this many times before, she and I, that human life, human beings were valuable beyond description because they bear the image of God. And consequently, that is going to inform the kinds of decisions that we make about people when things get really hard. God has the authority to take the life when He wants. We have the responsibility to live the life that God gives us. That was her conviction. And that conviction, of course, was played out in very vivid terms in this accident.
You really think she's okay, she has the surgery, she's going to wake up, a few weeks maybe in the hospital, but when she realized this is the long haul, then my next fear became that she'd be forgotten, that she'd just be another person in a bed in a nursing home. And, amazing person she was before the accident would just kind of be forgotten.
It's been almost a year since that accident, and just a couple of weeks ago, I had the first conversation with Melinda that I had had since the accident. She was looking at me, she was taking in what I was saying, she was smiling. I saw her lips moving, And so I leaned closely over to her and put my ear next to her lips, and I heard her say, "I knew you'd come." First words I'd heard in 11 months. And so this is a turning point, I think, in Melinda's development. She is finally coming out to us, and we're in a position now where we're able to engage her. And all of this mental activity and engagement is really great because this helps her brain to grow, to put it simply, and it helps her to improve. And we're looking forward to more progress like that.
Kathy and her family have set up a private personal GoFundMe. It has nothing to do with Stand to Reason. No funds go to Stand to Reason, nor is it tax deductible. But if you can continue to give to that GoFundMe, then we can give her, better quality care and help that, insurance just isn't providing.
God doesn't call us to an easy life. He calls us to a faithful and virtuous life. We are obliged to do what's right regardless of the cost. These are the things that God has ordained for His purposes. And we will watch faithfully as God unfolds those purposes for us as time goes on.